Thank you, Chairman Lowry. I think it's important for anyone that has run a business or worked people, hired people, trained them, sought people to understand. It sounds like to me that this gentleman has made a great effort, and we hear how many people they interview and how many they hire and they quit and all this sort of thing. And you're spending an awful lot of time trying to do this thing right by Memphis citizens. What question did you have to ask, sir?
Well, one of the questions was, when is it going to be enough that we've shown the effort? We have put on job fairs, invited people to come, put on trimming demonstrations, worked with Shelby Farms to give us a location to do them, advertised, sent emails, and made phone calls to the applicants to have them show up. And then they either don't show up or they do show up, they work 2 days, and they quit. I mean, at what point? We have offered as much of our contract load as Bean and Prince, the minority contract, the local contractor. We have offered them as much of the contract as they want. They can do 50% of it, they can do 80% of it. If they can have better luck hiring qualified people to do the work.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd. Mr. Collins?
On that same note, said that you sent emails, flyers, you went to the Agri Center. My question to you, and I appreciate your frustration as well when you have to come to see 13 people, and it's generally not pleasant. I understand that. Don't take it personal. So, but the question becomes, at what point, and maybe I should rephrase it this way, how many people do you believe through all of that casting of that net have attempted to try to be hired by ABC? Ballpark.
We've taken.
Come to the mic.
Sorry. We have hired over 300.
Oh, you've hired over 300?
Over 300.
Would it be safe to say that maybe 500 people have applied?
Yes, because we probably have 200 applied this year.
Yeah, so over the...
I won't say applied. 200 people were given an opportunity to apply. Some showed up, some did not.
So 200 people have been given an opportunity to apply this year. But it's safe to say that over the life of the contract, 500 people have shown up, and of that 500, you've hired 300 of them.
Correct.
And so...
I wouldn't say we've hired probably between 300 and 400.
Yeah,
but we have hired, because generally we don't.
But see, I'm running out of time, and that's why I'm trying to get you to come. And I'm trying to get. Okay. Here's my point. There are 600, let's say 600,000 people in Memphis. Mm-hmm. Roughly 15% of them are unemployed or underemployed. 10%, my math is bad. I didn't, 60,000. Correct?
Correct.
And only 500 showed up. And so when you talk about going to the Agri Center or getting emails or sending out flyers or getting the newspaper, that 15% can't get to the Agri Center. They don't have the email to the computer. They don't have access to the flyers. But what they do have access is to Councilwoman Fully Love's cell number. You know how I know that? Because she puts it out there. And so while you come and you get frustrated because she drills you for 5 minutes on the 500 cast, there are 5,000 or so that have called her, or have called Miss Halbert, or have called Mr. Berlin-Board or Mr. Brown, because they're looking for work. I understand your frustration, and it's not personal. It's just that they are working for people who do not have access to a computer or a bus system that takes them to the agri-center, or access to read a flyer. The net, 500 people, 60,000 plus looking for work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Ms. Halbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I, too, want to express the same sentiments that Councilman Collins did. I know it's frustrating to you, but imagine being one of the elected representatives in a city where people are constantly complaining that they're not getting the kinds of opportunities that we keep saying exist. And I think, have you talked with Kevin Woods at Workforce Investment Network?
Yes.
Is that who you've gone through?
Yes.
I would like to be invited to some of these fairs. Have you all ever thought about inviting us as well? Because it's just, something is not adding up. One of the concerns that I have is that I understand you're frustrated, but we've got to try to figure out how to reduce this poverty rate and this unemployment rate. I don't like my money going outside of Memphis. I don't like my taxpayer money going outside of Memphis. But you know what? I think I could understand it a little better if you told me nobody from anywhere in Shelby County wanted a job, nobody from Mississippi, nobody from Arkansas. So we've got to go to another country to get employees. That's what's got me a little concerned, because there are just too many people out here looking for opportunities. And I think even when you set up these job fairs, I think it would be appropriate to invite the council members to come. I won't be on the city council at that time, but I'd love to give you my email, because I just want to come and make sure that I continue to spread the word throughout my community that these jobs are available. I don't hear about the jobs, and I'm on the city council, so I don't know how you all are hiring. I don't hear about them on the TV or the radio the ways that I listen to advertisements. And so I would love to know what that is, make sure that we continue to go through WIN. Don't give up to the point where we have to give away our jobs to another country. If we got to give them away, at least let it be people who got to come and eat here. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Fully Love.
Very quickly, Mr. Chair. And what's your name again, sir?
Kevin.
Mr. Kevin
Kevin Blunt.
Blindy
Blunt.
Blight
Blunt.
Blunt
Blunt. B-L-O-U-N-T.
Blunt.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, like Blunt. Yeah, Blunt. Mr. Blunt, I don't mean to use a harsh tone with you, but I'm very passionate about the people I represent, and I love this city more than any city in America. I love Memphis, and I fight hard for people in Memphis. And so I know when you had somewhat of an empathetic voice, and Mr. Bill Boyd over there, your whole demeanor changed, and everything you start saying changed, because you told me one number and then you told him another. I don't mean to make you nervous. I'm not here to berate you. I'm not here to do anything. So I'm going to try to talk in a sweet voice that maybe you can understand. All Councilman Collins and Councilwoman Halbert, when he said the net, you know, he was talking about, I know you're familiar with the Bible, and he was talking about how there were fishermen and how there were fishers of men. And when you throw out the net, it's a metaphor. How many are you bringing in with the net? And with 60,000 perhaps unemployed people, you're saying that you have only 500 since you have been here that have been locals, and you've done email, and you didn't tell me you did email. You didn't even tell me you made a phone call. All you told me about some posters and going to different things. That's okay. You can look like that. I make people do that. But my